human reproduction. So we had started this chapter yesterday, and how is everybody today? All fine? So yesterday we had just started the chapter, so we did the basic introduction on the on that chapter, which was reproduction, where we just introduced terms like asexual and sexual reproduction. We did the differences between asexual and sexual reproduction, and simple things like what are this chapter yesterday, and how is everybody today? Fine. So yesterday we had just started the chapter, so we did the basic introduction on that chapter, which was reproduction, where we just introduced terms like asexual and sexual reproduction, differences between asexual and sexual reproduction, and simple things like what are this chapter yesterday, and how is everybody today? Fine. Yesterday we had just started the chapters, so we did the on that chapter was reproduction, where we just introduced terms like asexual and sexual reproduction. Can you hear me now? Sexual reproduction, and simple things like can everybody hear me now? So we are going to start with the new. You can start with the new topic today, which is male reproductive system. We will start with the male reproductive system today. All right. You already know about the male reproductive system, and the male reproductive system has certain parts, which is like we study about the primary sex organs, and the secondary sex organs, and the accessory ducts and everything. So today we will start with the male reproductive system. Now, can everybody hear me and all things are fine? Shall we start now? You can just write in the chat box and send me. All right. Okay. So last class was an introductory class about reproduction, and now we are going to do the male reproductive system. So the male reproductive system consists of some important parts, which I had told you yesterday, and these were slide share on, and these were the primary sex organ, the secondary sex organs, and the accessory or external sex characters. So while we discuss the male reproductive system, the primary sex organ you can see is the testis, and then you have certain secondary sex organs, and we also ducts and accessory glands. So we are going to discuss each and the importance of this in the male reproductive system. So the male reproductive system basically consists of, we have to just do an order. So it is basically made up of the gonad. Just a second, I will just see. Right. You are not able to hear my voice. Okay. The male reproductive system, and once my voice is clear, just write on the chat box that my voice is clear or not. So can you see the slides? Can you see the slides, everyone? You can see the slides, all right? Okay. Yes. Here is the diagram on the male reproductive system. And what did I tell you? That the male reproductive system has some important parts. And those important parts are the gonads. The first important part in the male reproductive system, the gonad. Gonad is also called primary sex organ. And as the name suggests, you can very well understand what the gonad means. So gonad means it is the gamete producing organ. It is the gamete producing organ is the gonad. All right. So in case of male, which is the gamete producing organ? In case of male, which is the gamete producing organ? And that gamete producing organ is your testis, is your testis. Okay, so important parts, let us just enlist the important parts of the male reproductive system. The important parts of the male reproductive system are, just right over here, the main parts in order as in how we will discuss. So they are: testis is first, which is the primary sex organ. Why it is called so? Because it produces gametes. Then we have the accessory ducts. Then we have the accessory ducts. Okay, ducts simply means tube. So we're going to just think of them. So we have these accessory ducts, and then we have uh, the accessory glands. The accessory glands, right? So accessory, why? Because they don't play a major role. Then we have glands. We have glands, and finally we have the external genitalia. So what is visible, in the male reproductive system is, I mean, what is visible to us or externally is the external genitalia. All right, so external genitalia is your penis and testis, which is visible. So these are the important parts of the male reproductive system. You have the testis, you have the accessory ducts, you have the glands, which are again accessory, and the external genitalia. So as NCRT says, that these are the important parts of the male reproductive system. So on this diagram, let us just locate the parts that we have just written. Okay, so let us write what we have just locate what we have written. And we have written testis. So you can see this purplish thing is the testis. And then and then you have this structure called epididymis, where we will discuss that. All right, so just the important parts first we will locate, and then I'm going to describe each and every part of the male reproductive system. So you have the testis, then we have the epididymis, or we'll discuss it later. So we have the testis, and then a tube coming out from the testis. A tube coming out from the testis is a tube coming out from the testis is the vas deferens. The tube coming out from the testis is vas deferens. All right, the tube coming out from the testis is vas deferens. Okay, the tube coming out from the testis is vas deferens. Can you see the vas deferens in the diagram? Can you see the vas deferens in the diagram? Okay, can you see the vas deferens in the diagram? Everybody just look at the vas deferens. Okay, now the testis is this purplish thing, and then you have the vas deferens, and this is the vas deferens. You can see that the vas deferens has just emerged from the testis, and then it makes a loop. And this loop goes, and you can see it is meeting uh, uh, certain glands. Uh, And these glands are seminal vesicle and prostrate and you know Copper's gland. So I will tell you the names of the glands. Okay, so these are the important glands. These are the important glands, and here you have this vas deferens, which is coming and making a loop. Vas deferens, which is coming and making a loop, and this is just joining. Now what is this part? You can see this part is the urinary bladder. I will just take a pointer and explain you. This is the urinary bladder, and this is there was some connection error that had happened. Now can everybody hear me? We have reconnected. uh, can you just write on the chat box and tell me whether you are able to hear me or not? Everyone, write on the chat box and tell me you can hear me now or not. Okay. Yes. So there is some connection error that has happened. And now, can you hear me? Okay. So we have just started the parts of the. I will just use the white screen first, and then we will look at the PPT. Then we will look at the PPT, and let us just write the important parts of the male reproductive system. So I told you the parts of the male reproductive system are, the important parts are the testis, which is the main organ or the gonad. Then you have the accessory ducts, you have the duct system, and then you have the glands again, which are accessory glands, which are accessory, and then you have the genitalia, which is the external genitalia. And I told you what is visible is external genitalia. All this is visible to everybody. All this, whatever I'm writing on the white screen, is visible to everyone or not? Is it visible to everyone? Okay, so these are the important parts of the male reproductive system, and now we were discussing each and every part. All right, so coming to the testis, what do you know about the testis? This is the primary sex organ. It produces the gametes. Now, where is the testis located? What do you know about the location of the testis? We know that the testis is extra abdominal. Extra abdominal. What do you mean by this? Books may everywhere it is written extra abdominal. What do we mean by extra abdominal when we say that the testis is located extra abdominal? Then what do we mean by this? Now, can you hear me? Okay, so different parts of the male reproductive system were testis, and testis was extra abdominal. Testis was extra abdominal. I told you, testis was extra abdominal. And now, can you hear me properly? We are so sorry about the network today. We are very sorry about the network today. One last time, let us see whether the network is proper or not. So, testes are extra abdominal. What do you mean by extra abdominal? That it is outside the uh, abdomen. It is outside the abdomen. And why it is so, because sperm production requires a temperature 2 to 3 degrees lower than the body temperature, because the sperm production, maturation and storage, sperm production, maturation and storage requires a temperature 2 to 3 degrees lower than the body temperature, and this is the reason that testes are extra abdominal. But you should also know that testes are become extra abdominal during the later part of the pregnancy. See, the testes of the male baby, they developed by the 7th to 8th week of pregnancy. So 7th to 8th week of pregnancy, the testes develop, all right, in a male baby, and they migrate to the scrotum during the 8th month of pregnancy. So by 7th to 8th week of pregnancy, the testis develops. And when does it migrate into the scrotal sac or into the scrotum? It migrates into the scrotal sac during the 8th month of pregnancy. All right. So this change, this is very important because sperm production requires a favorable temperature. Its production, its maturation and storage requires that those particular conditions. And at the body temperature, if it is in the abdomen, the sperms are going to be destroyed. So that's why testes are extra abdominal. But there are still exceptions to that. Like animals like duckbill platypus and elephants and some other mammals, in them the testis is not extra abdominal. All right, so this is about the location of testis. Okay, this is about the location of testis. So did you get the reason why, the testis is extra abdominal, all of you? Is there any doubt in this? Now, just write to me on the chat box and send if you have any doubt in understanding this. Now, next is, there is a clinical condition which is often asked in the question. There is a clinical condition which is often asked in a question, that there is a possibility, there is a disease, or a condition in which the testis fail to descend into the scrotum, and this is a disease which is called, the disorder is called cryptorchidism. This disease is called cryptorchidism. All right, so what is cryptorchidism? And you are asked questions on this. So what is cryptorchidism? It is the failure of, so cryptorchidism is a clinical condition, which means failure, which which means failure which means failure of the which means failure of the which means failure of the testis to descend into the scrotum. All right, so this is a disease which has to be corrected, and this disease can be corrected surgically. So once again, let us just write cryptorchidism. So we will once again write cryptorchidism, and this is like very important from the point of view of MCQs. So cryptorchidism is what you have to remember. This is failure of the testis to descend into the uh, scrotal sac. This can happen, you know, uh, due to various reasons, and it may be by birth, and again it is of two kinds. It could be unilateral, as the name suggests, unilateral as in when one of the testes fails to descend um, into the scrotum, or it could be bilateral when both of the testes fail to descend into the into the scrotum. All right, so cryptorchidism is one of the clinical conditions where testis is unable to descend into the scrotum. Now, testis, I will explain you the internal structure of the testis, that what is there inside the testis that is so sensitive to temperature, and what is going to happen, that we are going to study about cells in the testis like spermatogonia and serotonin cells, etc. So we will just do it as it comes. So the first important term over here related to the clinical condition is cryptorchidism. And cryptorchidism could be unilateral when one of the testes fail, and bilateral when both the testes fail to reach the um, uh, scrotal sac. Another important term is orchidectomy. You must have seen in the MCQs this important term is orchidectomy. What is orchidectomy? Orchidectomy is the surgical removal of testis, and why this happens, I'm going to tell you as we do the diseases related to the male reproductive system. So, surgical removal of testis is orchidectomy. Can you hear me now properly and understand these terms? Have you understood cryptorchidism? Just write on the chat box and send me. And is my voice audible now? Is my voice audible now? Yes. Okay. And what about others? Pramod has can hear me clearly. What about other students? Okay. Thank you so much, Janisha. All right. So shall we proceed further? Shruti, Palak. No, ma'am. Palak, you cannot hear. I think there is problem from your side in that case, because here we have rectified it. So cryptorchidism is clear to everybody. And what is orchidectomy? Orchidectomy is removal of the surgical removal of the testis. All right. So you've commonly heard the term castration. Castration is a common term of removal of testis. You must have seen, you have heard about ox and bulls. So bull is an ox is the female female animal, and bull is the male animal. So generally this castration is done, and this castration makes an animal docile. So that aggression, that docile mean that aggression of an animal is because of the testis and the testosterone which that particular gonad secretes. So orchidectomy in human beings means surgical removal of the testis, means surgical removal of the testis. So this is an important term which you have to remember. Now, coming to a very important term, there is monorchidism. Monorchidism is another term. Monorchidism is another term where there is presence of only one testis. So we are doing all information related to testis. Monorchidism is another term related to testis. So monorchidism is another term related to testis, and this is when presence of only one testis is monorchidism. And there is also another term called polychidism. This is very unusual, but yes. So polychidism is also another term which is related to which is again a clinical condition. This is very, I mean, presence of more than two testes. This is very unusual, but yes, rare of the rarest cases it is there. Then there could be synorchidism, where both the testes are fused, so there could be synorchidism. So these are some questions for MCQs. So syn means fused, and orchidism when the both the testes are fused. All right, there's no partition between them. Then such a condition is called. Such a clinical condition is called synorchidism. So we just started with the testis. We did that testis is the primary sex organ. It is the gonad. It produces male gametes, and that's why it is the primary sex organ. And the clinical conditions related to the testis were cryptorchidism, which could be unilateral or bilateral. Orchidectomy is the surgical removal of the testis. Monorchidism is presence of only one testis. Polychidism is presence of are fused. I hope these terms are clear to you, and when you get these terms in the MCQs, you will be able to do. All right. Okay. Just in the chat box, I can see only vasectomy is, this is, yes, something related. No, vasectomy is when the vas deferens is removed. Vasectomy is also a method of birth control. Pramod, vasectomy is a method of birth control in which the vas deferens is cut and ligated. We are talking about testis. We are talking about testis over here. We are not talking about vas deferens. All right. Clear to you, Pramod? Okay. Shall we proceed now? So vasectomy is that condition where the vas deferens is removed. So now इसके बाद मैं आपको बताऊंगी कि और क्या क्या conditions होते हैं. First, let us just complete information about testis. ठीक है? So testis, what does the testis have inside? Testis के अंदर क्या क्या चीजें हैं? क्या रहता है testis के अंदर? So let us just look at our PPT and you will get an idea. So don't just get scared of this diagram. So let us just look at this. This is another simple way. This is not so crowded. Can you see this diagram, everybody? इसमें थोड़ा just a side view is given, and you can just see all the parts are labeled. All right. So this is the testis. This is the testis. All right. And testis से जो tube निकल रहा है, this is your vas deferens. I will explain you what vas deferens is, and then this vas deferens just coils, and this thing is your urinary bladder. So when this vas deferens comes, it meets the urinary bladder. Then in that particular location, there are some glands. You can see seminal vesicle is one of the glands. So the duct of the seminal vesicle meets the vas deferens, and this is the ejaculatory duct. I had told you about the ejaculatory duct. So this is the ejaculatory duct where this, like, the vas deferens meets the duct of the seminal vesicle, and this is your ejaculatory duct. All right. So this is your ejaculatory duct, and then they open into the duct of the urethra is called the duct of the urinary bladder is called urethra, and this urethra continues and enters the penis, which is the external genitalia. I told you what is visible is the external genitalia, and penis is the external genitalia. All right, so we will concentrate on the testis now. We will do the internal structure of the testis, and I told you about the extra abdominal position of the testis, and about the different clinical symptoms related to testis. Now, one thing you must have heard about intestinal hernia. This is also a very common disease that is discussed when we discuss about the abnormalities of testis. So normally what happens that the testis after the 8th month, they just they enter the scrotum. All right, so they enter the scrotum, and there is a passage called the inguinal canal. So there is a passage. See, this is the inguinal canal. Inguinal canal is a passage, and you have the scrotum. I'm making the scrotum over here, and the scrotum is divided by a partition, which is which is also visible externally. It's called the raphe, or the partition is there. So this is the inguinal canal, and these are the scrotums. All right, so I just want to tell you how the testis is placed in the scrotum. So the testis are placed inside muscular pouch like structures called scrotum that maintains the desired temperature for the production storage of sperms. So how are they present inside the scrotum? So you have this inguinal canal, which is the passage through which the testis descend into the scrotum. So this is for example, this is your testis. So you have testis is hanging inside the scrotum by the help of a cord, which is the spermatic cord. So this is the spermatic cord. All right, so this, I'm just writing short forms. So this is the inguinal canal. Everything is written in the PPT. So once I explain you, I will just run the PPT and you can see. So this is the inguinal canal, and this is the scrotum. All right, this is the testis, and this is the spermatic cord. So spermatic cord के अंदर ही होता है blood vessels, vas deferens, जो भी है. So spermatic cord actually enters your abdomen. Spermatic cord enters the abdomen, and So vas deferens obviously is inside the abdomen. What is extra abdominal is the scrotum and the testis, which is inside the scrotum. And now you can understand. Now see what happens. I was telling you about this hernia. So what happens? So when the testis descend into the and into the scrotal sac, so this inguinal canal is sealed by the help of connective tissue. So this is not just a random process which happens. It takes time, but slowly this passage is sealed. Now sometimes what happens, there is inability of the there is failure of the closure of the inguinal canal. Then you know what happens in such case. So if the inguinal canal doesn't close, then some portion of the intestine could enter the scrotal portion. All right, so this is called hernia, and this can be corrected. This can be corrected by surgery. It's not very dangerous. So this is hernias. All the time we keep speaking about hernia, so I thought I will tell you about hernia. All right, so inguinal hernia is the name of the disease. So failure of the closure of the inguinal canal. So loops of intestine, they enter the inguinal canal. Via the inguinal canal they enter, and this is known as hernia. So by an operation the hernia is corrected. All right, so I wanted to tell you about the location of the testis and how it is suspended in the scrotal sac. So this is about testis, and let me repeat what doubts you have. Please repeat. What is genitalia? Genitalia is the reproductive part. External genitalia and internal genitalia. External genitalia which is visible, जो आपको बाहर दिखता है. मेल के केस में क्या दिखता है बाहर? मेल के केस में क्या दिखता है? पेनिस दिखता है, फिर scrotal sac दिखता है. There are two scrotal sacs. There's partition between them, and each scrotal sac has testis. All right. So दो testis हैं, one in each of the scrotal sacs. There is this raphe या partition of the scrotum, एंड उसके बाद पेनिस होता है. ये सब एक्सटर्नल जेनाइटेलिया है जो आपको दिख रहा है. इंटरनल जेनाइटेलिया में ये सारी चीजें आ जाएंगी. वास डिफरेंस, आपको वास डिफरेंस नहीं दिखता है ना? ठीक है. हाँ, yes, because intestine wala portion, it starts entering the inguinal canal and that causes all the pain. समझ में आया? ठीक है. सो दिस इज अबाउट, यहाँ तक अब समझ में आया आपको ना कि टेस्टिस एक्चुअली कहाँ लोकेटेड है. ठीक है. अब हम क्या बात करेंगे, वी विल टॉक अबाउट कि टेस्टिस के अंदर क्या है. अब तो ये ऐसे ऊपर से है ना. व्हाट इफ आई टेक अ ट्रांसवर्स सेक्शन ऑफ द टेस्टिस एंड सी. सो टेस्टिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. टेस्टिस जो है वो मेल में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट ऑर्गन है. दैट्स व्हाई इट्स कॉल्ड प्राइमरी सेक्स ऑर्गन. ऑलराइट, प्राइमरी सेक्स ऑर्गन दो बड़ी चीजें करता है ये. सबसे पहला, and you must have also studied the testis is a mixed gland. Why it is a mixed gland? Because it has got exocrine functions also and endocrine functions also. Exocrine function क्या है उसका? Exocrine function है कि it produces sperms, है ना. तो देखो, exocrine का मतलब होता है when and a gland is called exocrine जब वो अपना secretion किसी duct में pour करता है, not directly into the bloodstream. और endocrine का होता है जब वो hormones release करता है. So testis has got the capability that it can produce sperms also, and it can produce hormones also. And एक ही सबसे important hormone है, androgen है, जो है testosterone. तो टेस्टोस्टेरोन कौन सा पार्ट प्रोड्यूस करता है एंड वेयर एग्जैक्टली स्पर्म्स आर मेड. So for understanding all this you need to study the transverse section through the testis, and this will be the next slide. Transverse section through the testis. ठीक है. तो यहाँ तक I suppose it's clear to you. hernia clear हो गया. वो छोटे छोटे clinical symptoms those will may come as MCQs. ठीक है. तो अब यहाँ से हम TS में चलते हैं. Alright, ठीक है. So अब we just post on the chat box so that we can clear it right now before moving to the next slide. हाँ, एक डाउट है, वॉइस, ओके माय वॉइस इज नॉट क्लियर. क्लियर फ्रॉम माय साइड. ओके, पलक सेज क्लियर फ्रॉम माय साइड. किसको वॉइस नहीं सुनाई दे रहा है? आई थिंक आई वी फिक्स दैट नो. Palak Jain, what do I repeat? What exactly do I repeat? What exactly do I repeat? Okay. What exactly do I repeat? Just write on the chat box and tell what do I repeat? Not clear voice related to testis. Term related to testis. ठीक है, एक बार और सुन लो. Term related to testis. Cryptorchidism. Everybody एक बार और कर लो. Cryptorchidism. Cryptorchidism is the first term. And what does cryptorchidism mean? Cryptorchidism means failure of the testis to descend into the scrotum. Failure of the testis to descend into the scrotum. ओके, दूसरा टर्म है ऑर्किडेक्टोमी. ऑर्किडेक्टोमी इज सर्जिकल रिमूवल ऑफ द टेस्टिस. ऑर्किडेक्टोमी इज सर्जिकल रिमूवल ऑफ द टेस्टिस. ठीक है. थर्ड टर्म इज monorchidism. Monorchidism is presence of only one testis. Monorchidism is presence of only one testis. And next is polyorchidism. Polyorchidism is presence of more than two testes. Presence of more than two testes is polyorchidism, right? ठीक है. Then next is synorchidism. Synorchidism. What do you mean by synorchidism? Synorchidism का मतलब होता है when the testes are fused. When the testes are fused, it is called synorchidism. ठीक है. And finally, we did inguinal hernia, which I think everybody is clear. By birth होता है. ठीक है. Sometimes it may get operated also. So it depends upon what kind of a condition that patient has gone through. ठीक है. So this is about testis. Just introduction about testis. Okay. So now we will go to the internal structure of the testis. We will just start the internal structure of testis. Can you hear my voice now? Can you hear my voice now? Yes. Okay. So let us just now do the TS of the testis. We should do the TS of the testis. So देखो यहाँ पे सब लिखा हुआ है about all the things that I have spoken. So see, look over here. You can see the diagram, everybody. You can see the diagram, everyone. Can you see the diagram, everybody? इसमें देखो क्या लिखा हुआ है. Testis is covered by a membrane which is called tunica albuginea. Everybody concentrate on this diagram. इस diagram को देखो. So ये जो membrane है ना, the membrane lining the testis is tunica albuginea. Okay. Is tunica albuginea. और tunica albuginea सब इस डायग्राम के पास देखो और देखो कि tunica albuginea कहाँ पर है. So tunica albuginea is this membrane. And you know what happens. This tunica albuginea makes lobules inside. This tunica albuginea makes 250 lobules inside the testis, right? So tunica albuginea is the membrane that folds and makes lobules. So there are approximately 200 to 250 lobules inside the testis. Okay, lobules inside the testis, and each lobule. अब देखो, now you can concentrate with red color. I'm showing you ये these folded tubules, इस तरीके के जो folded tubules हैं, these folded tubules, folded convoluted बोलते हैं ना उसको biological science में, convoluted, folded, कोई चीज जो मुड़ी हुई है. So this is your seminiferous tubule. This is your seminiferous tubule. ये देखो, this is your seminiferous tubule. ठीक है? This is your seminiferous tubule. तो seminiferous tubule is the structure which is inside the lobules. So there are how many lobules? There are 200 to 250 lobules in each testis, and each lobule has 1 to 3. 3 is the upper limit. 1 to 3. 1 to 3. 1 to 3. 1 to 3 seminiferous tubules inside the lobules. Okay, so कितने seminiferous tubule हैं? एक लॉब्यूल में 1 to 3. अब आप चैट बॉक्स में लिख के भेजिए कि what is the total number of seminiferous tubule, maximum number of seminiferous tubule in each testis. So just write the number and tell me. My question is, I'm repeating again, what is the total number of seminiferous tubules in each testis? Okay, in each testis. All right, come on, write the answer and send to me on the chat box. Pramod, I am asking you total number of seminiferous tubules in each testis. वो पूछा है आपने, तो बता दिया lobules का नंबर. ये तो lobule है. एक बार सोचो and give me the answer. Who has answered? 750, correct. 750 is the answer. 750 is the answer. कैसे आया 750? Should I explain? देखो, there are how many lobules in each testis? 200 to 250. I asked you the maximum number. Maximum number is 250. Now, अगर हर एक में एक से 3 रहता है, maximum limit को 3 ले लो, then 250 multiplied by 3 is 750. So 750 will be the answer. This was a question which came in NEET. So even NCRT has given you these data. So NCRT's data is very, very important. So 200 to 250 lobules in each testis, and each lobule has 1 to 3 seminiferous tubule. अब ये seminiferous tubule जो है, it now forms this network kind of a structure. ये देखो, एक नेट के जैसा, जाल के जैसा स्ट्रक्चर बना है. This is called retitestis. है ना? So seminiferous tubule, it forms a network of structures which is called the retitestis. और ये retitestis जो है ना, सबके सब unite होके एक structure बनाते हैं which is called vasa efferentia. It is called vasa efferentia. So this is called vasa efferentia. ये रहा वासा एफ्रेंचिया, है ना? तो ये रहा वासा एफ्रेंचिया. सो सेमिनिफेरस ट्यूब्यूल क्या बनाया? रेटिटेस्टिस से वासा एफ्रेंचिया. एंड देखो, वासा एफ्रेंचिया अगेन इज फॉर्मिंग these coiled structures, and it opens into the epididymis. Okay, so it forms the epididymis. And epididymis finally जो अंदर जाता है structure into the spermatic duct is your vas deferens. So we will start from here next class, but एक बार rough लिख लो आप कि I am just writing the rough this thing order. You have seminiferous tubules, ठीक है. Seminiferous tubules के बाद का जो structure है, so this is the path that the sperm takes. Seminiferous tubules, so inside the seminiferous tubules the sperms develop, and from the seminiferous tubule arise the retitestis. Short में लिखो, everything is written on the PPT, I will give it to you. It's retitestis, and retitestis के बाद आता है vasa efferentia, और vasa efferentia बनाता है, मिलके बनता है epididymis, and epididymis opens into the vas deferens. So this is the path which the sperm takes. So seminiferous tubule, retitestis, vasa efferentia, epididymis, and vas deferens or vasa differentia, and यही vasectomy में इसी को कट करके ligate करते हैं. I hope till here it is clear to you. We will explain this again in the next class with the TS of the testis and all the things. Okay, so thank you so much for being so patient, and next class we will start from here. यहाँ तक समझ में आ गया क्या? यहाँ तक clear है? Everybody's clear? All clear? Okay. Only Palak has said all clear, others have not said all clear. Pramod also says, thank you, Pramod. Pramod and Palak have understood. Okay. Mishika, yes, ma'am, all clear. So any doubt you have, do just write on the chat box and ask me then and there, right? Okay. Okay. So thank you, Arpit, that it is clear to you. No doubts. Thank you so much. So we will continue from here next class, and hope just revise till here, and we will meet next class. Thank you so much for listening.